What unfolded on that stage was not an ending, and it was never meant to be one. It was the quiet, powerful beginning of something far greater. The moment the 15 contestants stepped forward, they were not chasing a single title or a final destination. They were opening the first page of a new chapter in their individual journeys, each story distinct, each voice unmistakably their own. This gathering was never just about crowns, rankings, or applause. It was about presence. It was about the courage to stand under the lights and say, "This is who I am," without apology and without comparison. In that sense, Best of Miss 2025 became a living reminder that true milestones are not always marked by trophies, but by transformation. Every contestant arrived carrying a lifetime of experiences. Some carried dreams nurtured since childhood, others brought lessons learned through hardship, perseverance, and self-discovery. When they stood together, it became clear that no single narrative could define beauty, because beauty itself refused to be confined. Rather than narrowing its focus to one winner, Best of Miss 2025 expanded the meaning of success. It showed that many stories can shine at once. It proved that excellence is not diminished when shared, and that individuality grows stronger when celebrated alongside others. The competition evolved into a platform of coexistence. Different cultures, personalities, and values stood side by side, not in conflict but in harmony. This coexistence sent a powerful message: diversity is not a barrier to unity, but its foundation. Throughout the journey, comparisons slowly lost their power. What mattered was not who stood taller, spoke louder, or moved faster. What mattered was authenticity. Each contestant reflected a unique way of living, loving, and striving forward, and that authenticity resonated far beyond the stage. Beauty, as revealed through this experience, was never about mirroring someone else. It was about honoring one's own path. It was about the quiet confidence that comes from knowing where you have been and choosing where you are going next. The lessons of Best of Miss 2025 extended beyond rehearsals and presentations. They lived in conversations backstage, in shared laughter, in moments of vulnerability, and in the mutual respect that grew among the contestants. These moments shaped bonds that competition alone could never create. Each participant became a mirror, not for comparison, but for reflection. Watching one another succeed encouraged self-growth rather than self-doubt. In this environment, ambition and empathy walked hand in hand. What emerged was a collective understanding that beauty is deeply personal. It is shaped by choices made in silence, by resilience built over time, and by values upheld even when no one is watching. This understanding transformed the event into something far more meaningful than a contest. The audience, too, was invited into this realization. They were not merely spectators but witnesses to stories unfolding in real time. They saw confidence bloom, voices strengthen, and identities affirmed with every step forward. Best of Miss 2025 reminded us that recognition does not have to be singular to be significant. When many are seen, heard, and respected, the impact multiplies. Success, in this space, was shared rather than claimed. The 15 contestants did not leave behind a final statement. Instead, they carried forward momentum. Each of them stepped away with a deeper sense of purpose, ready to translate this experience into action beyond the stage. Their journeys now extend into communities, careers, creative pursuits, and advocacy. What began as participation has evolved into responsibility, the responsibility to represent individuality, confidence, and compassion in everyday life. The legacy of this event lies not in one defining moment, but in many continuing ones. It lives on in future endeavors, personal growth, and the courage to remain true to oneself in a world that often demands conformity. As time moves forward, the echoes of Best of Miss 2025 will remain. Not as a conclusion, but as an ongoing story written through actions, choices, and influence. Each contestant now authors her own next chapter. The Best of Miss Secretariat recognizes this journey is unfinished and ever-evolving. Their commitment does not end with the event but continues through ongoing support, attention, and belief in the potential of every contestant. This experience stands as proof that beauty cannot be measured against others. It can only be understood through the way a person lives, grows, and impacts the world around them. Best of Miss 2025 did not give us answers. It offered perspective. It reminded us that the truest form of beauty is not something you win, but something you become. And so, what remains is not a title, but a beginning carried forward by 15 individuals whose stories have only just started to unfold.